Hello, I'm Miah Grace in case you don't know, and today we're going to be talking about Shrine. Really delving in there. I've been doing a series where I deep dive into different goth brands and talk about my perspective on their quality as someone who sews a lot of my own clothing. Shrine is a super well-known brand. Every professional musician that I know either has Shrine in their closet or wants some. Their reputation is also kind of incredible. I've never heard a bad thing from anybody who wasn't a Sewist, and even then the reviews are mostly positive. They don't really have like an R story or a background section on their website. I think that that's kind of just a symptom of being like so involved with the Endless Night group. A lot of people in that group don't really do the whole background information thing. I think it's probably something to do with like the vampire identity. They want to be like a little bit mysterious. It's also possible that because they have an in-person boutique, they might give that information as like part of a spiel to the customers that come in person to kind of make it feel a little bit more special. I'm not sure. A lot of people know about this brand because of the show Dark Shadows, but basically every larger alternative event that I go to, I see at least one man in Shrine. Usually the fancy brocade vests. I will recognize these a mile away. They're so distinctive. But my favorite local DJ actually also wears this same coat that I borrowed from my boyfriend. There are two people with this exact coat in the West Michigan goth scene. This goes to show you how popular Shrine really is. And that's kind of a pro or a con depending on your own values and philosophies. Maybe you do want the same coat as your buddy. It varies person to person. I mean, whenever you're buying anything new or otherwise, there is a footprint and an impact that is worth considering. You are a part of capitalism. But as far as this brand goes, it's not like they're clubbing seals for the most part. Their pieces are made to last and be loved. That's clearly their goal with these. And when I look at eBay listings for old beat up pieces of theirs, they're not like in horrible condition. The oldest piece that I've seen in person and really like inspected was one of their coats from 2015. I thought it was brand new until the guy said that the fabric on the coat that he was wearing had actually been discontinued very shortly after he bought it. And he also told me that he wore that same vest basically every time he went out, and he went out pretty often. And this was 2 years ago, so that's almost a 10-year-old vest, and it looked brand new. Most of their stuff is a polyester rayon blend, and polyester does create microplastic. Microplastics from washing polyester are kind of the devil. I strongly recommend getting a washer attachment that catches your fuzz before it goes into the water stream. There's like little filters that you can get, and that helps reduce the amount of microplastic that gets into the ocean. Obviously, there's no good holistic solutions to the microplastic problem, but robbing yourself of joy over an issue that you realistically don't have a ton of control of isn't really worth it. They have a warehouse in America where they make a lot of their own garments, and a lot of their own garments are in-house designed. They've never had a Googleable scandal, and I couldn't find anything even on like old school forums or anything. I've also never heard anything negative about them from elder goths who've been there or who have worked closely with them, and elder goths who know more than the average person love to give me tea. I am burdened with knowledge. So that's saying a lot. I do order some pieces from other manufacturers, and I have no way of knowing what those warehouses are like really until you've like toured a facility or talked to the people that work there. You really don't know what the conditions are like. The fashion industry is very casually unethical. It's hard to nail down who's doing what because at the end of the day, manufacturers are playing to win and all of the workers are kind of their pawns in that game. Anyway, with that out of the way, my experience with this brand is somewhat limited because I'm not really a formal menswear kind of girly. I used to love it whenever we had their stuff at the goth shop that I worked at, because putting these tailcoats on someone who's used to wearing unstructured clothing like t-shirts and jeans, it really just does something for them. And it's such a privilege to be part of that moment. Like you hear bridal shop and prom dress shop owners talk about like that Cinderella moment. I have seen middle-aged divorced dads have their Cinderella moment in front of me, and it's like really genuinely something to behold. People don't talk about like how men deserve to feel, pretty's not the right word, but like the male equivalent of like putting something on and being like, wow, I'm like kind of badass, I'm kind of amazing, that's great. And Shrine does this for people very easily. Men deserve to feel like princes. That's not like weird to say. It's also really fun to get a vest and a corset in the same brocade colorway and have like a wedding or a prom look put together that way. This is like a really cute go-to couples night outfit for goth night. It's just iconic looking. This is stereotyping, but one of the reasons why I love Shrine is because you can always see at least one dude in a shrine vest at like larger goth events, and they're always like 9 times out of 10 just the sweetest person to talk to. There's something about this brand, it just attracts sweethearts for the most part. There are exceptions to every rule. One of the issues with the website that I've noticed is that they don't have like fabric content or care instructions listed on any of their shirts. I don't know. I'm not the intended audience for a lot of their clothing. Like I said before, I don't really wear a lot of menswear, but the Rayon Poet shirts are really, really nice. And their more fancy coats are also really nice. And I know a lot of people that have 1 or 2 and wear them every chance that they get. Like my friend who I borrowed this coat from, always wearing it. They're also like not reviewed on the website. The website has almost 0 reviews. I would really lean into hosting feedback on the website if I were them, because that's really what establishes and sets them apart as a well-known and well-loved brand. I suspect that because they do smaller batches of their designs and rotate through them, there's fewer reviews for each like individual thing, so they don't have reviews to show for like each type of garment. I think that might be part of what's going on there. And I guess the reviews can't be like transferred over from one garment to the next, because that would be pretty unfair. I have no notes for most of their coat designs. Like they're literally perfect, they're iconic. Who am I to tell you what to change? And like the ones that aren't exactly what I personally would like, you can look at and tell that they're for a certain person's design sensibilities. This is a type of dude, you know? There is a dude that would wear this. The women's wear is also pretty robust. These skirts are outsourced, but I'll get to that later. These corsets, I believe, are made in-house because the fabric matches the vests exactly. So they're either having their fabric sent to a corset manufacturer, like Punk 69, who is now Queen Corsets, or they're making them in-house. I am not sure which. I have not touched their corsets in person, so I don't know how to verify that. I didn't have the budget to order corsets for them for this video. I'm sorry. I actually really wish that I would have been able to order one of these corsets for this video review, just because I want to know what's going on with it. Like, it has hardcore boning, but it's clearly not meant to be like a reductive, like waist training corset. If you own one of these overbust bodice situations, could you let me know in the comments below, like what it's like to wear or like how it feels on? Because I have questions. The dresses that they sell, I also wonder if they're manufactured in-house. I have no way of knowing. They're really cute. I don't know that I would personally buy one because I would make one that I liked much better, but that's not an option for everyone. And they have a very quirky and fun and very unique style. So if this kind of vibe is something that you're looking for, it's going to be really cute. And those super thin pattern pieces that they have all the way around, that duration just as part of the structure of the gown is going to like really like give you a form and a shape that's gonna be lovely. Also, their women's jackets are very gender neutral, which again, I love, because we at the goth shop used to sell the Matador jackets to men pretty regularly, and they looked great on them. And whenever you style them on a woman, they also look feminine and amazing. They're just great across the board, a blessing to a stylist. Also, before I move on, I just have to mention, you can get a bed set in shrine fabric. So you could hypothetically go out to the club in your cute matching shrine outfit and like find a goth babe and be like, hey, do you want to come back to my place? After, of course, like thoroughly romancing her. And then you bring her back to your apartment. You sit down on the edge of your bed to remove your very large platform chained up boots. And as you're doing so, she notices that your vest and pants perfectly match your bedspread. Now she's in love. She's swooning. You'll never be rid of her. You're going to have 7 goth babies. I don't make the rules. So not everything at Shrine is by Shrine. This is really common for goth shops to outsource a lot of their things. Alchemy of England is a really common accessories boutique to wholesale from, to kind of pad out your merchandise. And that's like a really smart business practice if you don't want to ever be out of product at a physical location. We used to have that happen in the goth shop that I worked at, and it was really awkward after a big weekend if someone came in on Monday and we were like literally out of merchandise. So I'm not gonna fault someone for sourcing from as many places as possible. That said, I mentioned that these dresses and skirts are outsourced. These skirts are a really great staple skirt. They're very buildable. They kind of like are a layer your own ball gown situation. I do have to get on my high horse though. This rose lace, you'll see this in a lot of manufactured garments, and it's not very high quality. If you wash it or treat it in any kind of way that involves heat, it will get those little like rubber stringies sticking out of the fabric. The shop that I worked at used to outsource things from this same manufacturer, and they're very quality corsets, and they're really fun to style, and they look really great. But like I said, that lace, it falls apart. It just shreds. So buyer beware. It's also like 50 cents a yard. Like, it's not good. With most brands, the Goth in a Box set, where you buy everything from the same collection and style and outfit with it, looks really good. Kind of like it makes you want all of the matching bits so that you can have the outfit that all goes together. A very aspirational look, right? This is what that looks like with their female clothes. I don't want to be mean, because again, there's like a type of person that would probably go crazy for this. But all I can think when I look at this outfit is that if I were costuming Beauty and the Beast and I needed an outfit for the ottoman that comes to life, that's what I would do. I just see sexy ottoman, and that might be a me problem. Classic Lolita also turns you into a fancy couch though. You know, people clearly love fancy couches. If people didn't like fancy couches, they wouldn't be in people's homes. And they also don't outfit any of the male models in like a full matching set on their website, and I think it would look less couchy on a man. Their pieces look amazing when they're mixed with other garments. This is the guitar solo of the outfit, right? Designing the guitar solo of an outfit, that is a skill in and of itself, and Shrine does it really, really well. So I'm not gonna fault them for having statement pieces that don't necessarily go well with one another. I do love the presence of this brand though. Their blog hasn't updated since 2018, but you can see them geeking out over their community that they have around them, and they're being involved in a lot of community events, and you can see them being very excited over who they've styled and who they've dressed, and it's nice. It's like refreshing, very wholesome. Yelp and Etsy reviews mention things like inconsistent and unpredictable fit, and apparently their customer service when it comes to returns is not always something that people are happy with. When I see a negative review, it's almost always about awkward or inconsistent fit. Never heard anything negative about them from someone that I knew personally, with one exception that I'll get to, but every online storefront always gets like 1 or 2 bad reviews. And what I chalk that up to is that some people are just never going to be happy. I also have noticed that goth shops will get bad press about sizing and inconsistent fit whenever they do have pieces that are manufactured by multiple different warehouses with no consistent sizing between them, right? So Shrine is having these dresses and skirts, and then Shrine has their own sizing chart, and then if these dresses here are manufactured by someone else, those are going to have their own sizing chart, and then if the man's poet shirts are being manufactured by Restyle, I think they might be, then that means that they're going to have their own size charts, and now everyone is confused because a medium in Restyle is not a medium in Shrine, and I would not be surprised if that's what the problem is. I also wouldn't be surprised if the pandemic caused a lot of confusion and people were getting things that were labeled as the wrong size just due to so many new people being trained after so many people retired or expired. It threw a wrench into a lot of manufacturing jobs. The other negative press that I can't not mention is that when I worked at the goth shop, we did get an order of vests in that had really bad quality control issues. The buttonholes were fraying. Like little polyester stringies were coming up out of the fabric in between the stitches of the buttonholes. So what we did is we went over the edges with a lighter so that they would like melt and seal a little bit, because it's really hard to tell a customer that a coat is worth $300 whenever it's fraying in front of them. When it comes to construction, I am a very, very picky person. This is my harpy opinion. Shrine is advertised as being for musicians and performers who are notorious for moving around a lot and sweating a lot. And this is a polyester blend. Polyester is an insulator that makes sweating much worse. I'm actually kind of warm in just this vest. Like I can feel the difference between my shoulder where it's protecting me and warming me versus where it's not. Polyester tends to be super washable as well, so that you can just like throw it in a washing machine and then a dryer, and you know, that might be what they were going for. Except I checked the care tag on this thingy and it says that it's dry clean only or hand wash only, possibly because of the big old grommets. They also don't have washing instructions on their website, like on an FAQ or on the garment listings, or like the individual garments listings don't have care instructions. And washing instructions are something that I think it's really important to know before you buy something, because you might not be willing to give that garment the care that it needs. And if you're going to invest in something, you want to know exactly what you're getting yourself into. But like all of that said, I am a retail harpy and I am 100% nitpicking right now. You also clicked on this video to watch me nitpick, so you can calm down. All in all, Shrine is a behemoth of a goth brand who has done a ton of community work. In a lot of ways has put the fashion and the vibe on the map. Would I personally buy from them? Maybe, just to be part of the positive impact and the history of their brand. but honestly, I'm more likely to just upcycle some brocade fabric and tailor my own vest or jacket or what have you, because I am a very picky person. Do I think you should buy from them? For the most part, yeah. I do know a lot of people who wear their long robes and things near fire, and they're definitely not fire resistant or fire retardant. You would need to get a safety spray if you're going to handle that, and I think that wool would be a better option. If I were to recommend this to someone, I guess my advice would be that if you have $300 in your hand and you want a show-stopping jacket or vest, Shrine is where you would go. If you have $600 and you want a show-stopping jacket that nobody else has, or that serves a full function, like being around pyrotechnics or, you know, being lightweight and breathable and also washable, I would say that you should find a local artisan and pay them to design something for you. Yeah, that's basically all I've got for you. If you would like some free alternative sewing patterns that have a very full size range, those are going to be linked in the description box below. And if you have any brands that you'd like to see me get to, a lot of you have made some wonderful suggestions, and I am digging in, and I'm working on like several scripts at once right now. So let me know who you are most excited to see me dig into, and I will probably try to prioritize what people are looking forward to the most. Anyways, that's all I've got. Bye, friends! Ugh. Fire of any kind can really break your bank, but Shrine especially, it will break you. It will crack you open like an otter eating a mollusk. And I'm a lot of oh hi. But sweethearts, but sweethearts wear charm. But you're pacing. Does that mean it's ready? It's like tradition now. We have to have the blooper kiss.
I love you.
I love you.